seen DC like as an adult in the '90s? Because I was like 16.
Yeah.
You know, man. The '90s.
So in the '80s, I mean, when I started hanging out, it was like in '83, like, so when I started going to, because I'm from PG County, but I started hanging out, I chose in, '83, that's when I discovered that, like, because there was always that thing, like, I went to Northwestern and all the, like, that was it, that was interesting, because all the kids who'd go to the go-go were really sophisticated, because they had family everywhere, and they were all, like, advocates and blah, 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 but then, then there's the kind of PG kind of redneck thing, and all those people are kind of really provincial, they just hang out at the mall, and so learning about punk rock was like, oh yeah, and then it was just like, oh yeah, I can just go into the city, and that really opened everything up for me, you know what I mean?
Man, it's crazy how DC is so separated, because until I went to AU,
yeah.
and people were like, you ever heard of a band called Fugazi? And I was like, no, where are you from? They were like,
Yeah.
DC. And I was like, are you serious?
Well, still people are like, don't know go-go at all, and they don't know anything, you know what I mean? Like, or like people in DC also don't have any sense of the history of the city. Like nobody knows that, I don't know, like Billy Stewart's from here, or like Bunker Hill or Winkeray, or like any of the people who come from here, besides Fugazi, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird when you go to Memphis or Detroit and like everybody's like, Pat Lewis, they know everything about the most obscure people.
Yeah, there's something weird about DC like that. It's like it's taken for granted in a way. It's interesting.
Well, people don't think anything from here is real. Do you know what I mean?
But see,
like the people who live here don't, like, it's like they have this inferiority complex. Whereas people in Detroit are really like, Detroit, they're like, there's all this like antagonism against them, but then it's like, oh wow.
When I'm like in other places and they talk about punk rock and go-go in DC, they talk with a huge respect for it.
Yeah.
But if you say hip-hop, there's no respect for it.
Yeah.
If you say house, there's really no respect for anything else, but it's just really, DC is really interesting. It's beautiful.
It's also weird because once something gets big here, it kind of obliterates everything else. Do you know what I mean? Like in the way that, like Fugazi, amazing band, but they kind of like, that's all anybody knows about. And there's so much other history in rock and roll. Do you know what I mean? Like kind of weird, just weird groups, And it's like that's not the only style that, you know what I mean? Like, it's really diverse, thing coming out of here.
In the '90s, it was this thing I was in, and John, I was in a band. We were in this thing called the Freestyle Union around Coffee House.
Oh yeah, I used to do a night there on Wednesday nights. It's called Cold Rest. Yeah, and so Alias, you must know Alias. Yeah. He was my man. We did our DJ night there for 2 years. Just, and it was like totally happening the first year, and then second year nobody would come. We were just like the baby singers, like you know how those nights are. Yeah. But we'd have live bands sometimes. But mostly we were just DJing, and it was super fun. But so you must have known those the Upsetter Sound System guys. Did you know those guys? They did their thing on Friday.
I may not know them, but I was always around, and they used to play the most hardest dance hall. It was incredible. It was fucking amazing.
And you go to their night, and it was like all the lights were off, and like you couldn't even see. Like I was just like, what the? It's like. But I remember one thing about that club was every week you came in and they'd like redone the sound system. And it was like, what the fuck is going on? Because nothing would work.